Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. Today we are here at Potchkey in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we are recording in a new location, which was so fun. But this episode was actually with Stephen Brown, so my business partner and fifth generation owner of Tennessee School of Beauty. So today we recapped our trip to Miami, but we also talked about just kind of where we're going at the beauty school, what's different about us, tips that we have for you if you're looking at beauty schools. So this was a super fun interview where I feel like we got a little bit more personal. I think a lot of people know maybe Stephen and I from social media and the things that we do, but we really got to jump in to talk about where we're going and what plans are for the future and what you can do if you are looking into beauty school. So today was a different episode. Like I said, we kind of dove a little deeper into some things that maybe we haven't talked about yet. Everything from mental health and staying on the path to pursue your passion to just beauty school things. So this episode was amazing. I hope that you love it. Make sure that you comment below if you have any takeaways and make sure that you're following along and subscribing. So at the end of this, make sure that you stop to like and subscribe and make sure you leave us a review. So I hope you love it. And here's the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. Today we are doing something that is like literally a dream come true. We are at Potchkey Deli in Knoxville, Tennessee, that actually just got Michelin mention, Michelin honor, like amazing. This has been one of our favorite places literally since it opened. And I'm here today with Stephen Brown.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So we talked about recording here because Stephen and I actually, when we can, when we're not like slammed at work, we'll try to do Friday meetings here. So we set in place like once a week, we're trying to come here every Friday. And that was like our debrief, talk about what was going on at the school. So we're really happy to be recording here today. So thank you, Emily and Lawrence, for letting us be here. But this really is such a special spot. So if you have not checked out Potchkey, definitely come down because as you can see, it's amazing and literally the best Reuben on the planet.
It's so good.
And the matzo ball soup, like heaven.
Yeah.
Just everything's so good. What is your what's your favorite if you could only have like one thing here forever?
It's got to be the Reuben.
Yeah.
I mean, secret menu item. It's so good. I've never had anything like it. And I don't know, I'm a little bit of a picky eater. So normally, like just looking at the menu, I'd probably take some stuff off, but it all just comes together so perfectly. I mean, you can't get anything like it anywhere else.
It's the best sandwich of all time. So,
and then the matzo ball soup.
Yes, fussied up. So it's like
Fussied
spicy and amazing.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited that we're recording.
Yeah, me too.
Because we have not debriefed or recapped our trip to Miami yet. So you may have seen on our social media that we were in Miami and we wanted to like explain what we were doing there and kind of talk about what it was like when we were there. Because we did something like super outside our comfort zone. And it was so fun, but we went down for the American Association of Career Schools, the AACS conference. So this year, we actually taught a class, which is a conference for beauty school owners and then for brands that support that. So there's tons of brands there that we work with, but we were actually there to teach a class on culture. So we've never done anything like that before. It was like so crazy. We just went for it, put our name in the hat. How was that for you?
It was fun. It was good. And I saw it as a big opportunity for growth for both of us because we go there every year and we just had a different role this time. It was, we got to see a little bit more behind the scenes of how it all comes together and, the work involved in the preparation. And, we love going because we get to see these people that are almost a daily name in the office, but if it's phone calls and emails. So going to actually see and talk and laugh and joke and talk industry with them is always great. And then the fact that we were teaching a class this time again and just got little bit more access to things
Yeah.
was great. And it was in Miami at the
Yes.
Fountain Blue. So,
So it worked out because it was supposed to be like in Fort Lauderdale, which still would have been fun.
mhm.
But then we get an email like, I don't know, 6 months before or something. We'd already bought everything for Fort Lauderdale. And then we got an email that they had switched it to the Fountain Blue in Miami. So that was insane because I'd never been there. Had you been?
No, no, not the Fountain Blue.
But seeing like the pools and the club, like Live is there, which you guys got to experience, and we'll get into that a little
Yes.
bit. But I do want to talk about how it kind of like started. So you're fifth generation of Tennessee school, fifth generation owner of Tennessee School of Beauty.
Mhm.
And so your, I mean, great grandfather, grandfather, dad have all been a significant part of AACS at one point in their career.
Mhm.
So your dad was the president of AACS at one point.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And which is so crazy to me.
So was grandpa and great grandpa, I believe. I mean, I think
Yeah.
they were all on the board like that.
Yeah, which is so insane because it just like really explains the legacy of your family in the beauty industry. And there's a couple other families that I know. I mean, a few, like three other
Mhm.
families that have been a part of it. I know the Passages have been a part of that for a long time. The True, like,
Yeah.
but it's really cool for us to kind of all connect and get together. And like when you're around people that are all going through the same thing, they're doing the same jobs
Mhm.
as you as far as cosmetology school goes. It's just like really good to have that support. But last year, because this is now kind of just Stephen and I going to these conferences now. And last year was in Houston, and our friend that has
Oh, yeah.
recently opened up a cosmetology school was there and like got to see some classes. And she really encouraged us. Summer really encouraged us to teach a class. Like the whole time we were in classes last year, she was like, you all should be teaching this. Like she's been into the school and really like knows the culture of the school. And she was like, you all need to do a class on culture. So that was really our push to even like jump into it.
Which
Cause
honestly, I mean, every time we're in those classes, we're like, we should teach one of these. Like,
yeah.
and we know, I mean, we know where we would go with it,
Yeah.
and we just did this time.
Yeah, and just to share information, you and I are really big on being like, we're better together.
Mhm.
So here's what we're doing that's working, and we want you all to be great also. So that was really like the push to even like sign up to teach class or to be a part of that at all. And it was, I feel like the closer it got a little scarier and a little scarier, but I think it really helped us.
Also, because we didn't prepare
Yeah.
as well as we would have liked to. I was out of the office, the entire week leading up to it almost, and we didn't get a chance to practice the presentation. I mean, it was the day of or the day before on the room, in the room, just being like, okay, show me the presentation. And again, it does come kind of like this. I mean, I don't do podcasts often, but it's just kind of what we know, what we
Hmm.
talk about. So it comes kind of naturally. And that's what we did with the class. I mean, we kind of started off being like, hey guys, we're not the most formal. We're just kind of going to come up here and tell you about what we do. And hopefully, again, our goal for the class was that they take one thing with them to hopefully implement at the school and elevate the student's experience or education, and maybe just offer a couple different ways to think about beauty school, because everyone kind of, I mean, from what we see and what we hear, everyone kind of does the same thing and has the same problems, and it's just
Follows the
always,
same like procedures of how you do it and
yeah.
like what the rules are of what you do. Rules meaning like leads and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
call the student and you blow them up and all this stuff. And like we just do things so different. And so we've always felt like, and I mean, I know your dad has even said this, like we've always felt like a little different there because I think we are way more laid back. I mean, like last year, we just decided that we were in Houston and we wanted to like go get cowboy hats. And so we found this place and like so at the Ignite that there was like a party which is on like
It was the hundredth gala, 100th anniversary gala.
yes.
So everyone was dressed, I mean, to the nines and sparkly and ball gowns, and I mean,
We
we
showed
had the
up
full
in
get up.
full cowgirl cowboy outfit. And again, just making it fun, but everybody loved that. I think that
They had
people
a great
like
time.
the breath of fresh air of like we're just real. Like this is just us. It's nothing. We're not like suit buttoned up. I think that they're just like, I don't know. Like we always joke that we're just like, oh, there's those two idiots. But like I
Yeah.
really feel like it makes it fun. And this year they did like a theme party, like they did a masquerade, and I'm like, that was because of us. I'm like, that was because we
I
did
like to
have
think
this
so.
last year.
Because I mean, you can see that you can have fun doing that type of stuff. It's not just formal legislature and this and that. And I mean, luckily, that's not quite what. Well, it is kind of what ACTS is about. It is
Yeah.
the legislature and advocacy. But again, I see it as just an opportunity to network, to get with all the brands. And I mean, this time we actually went with intent. We had a couple of programs or software things that we needed, tuition, just things that we needed. And so we were talking to the vendors with a little bit more. Little bit different of intention as normal, I think. And I mean, we got something out of it. It's great those are the people that are there for you, and those are the people that have the things that you need in beauty schools because it's just different than traditional
Yeah,
college.
and I think brands too that we work with all the time. I mean, obviously, makeup designery, we get to see our friends from Mud, and we get to see and meet the people that I know this isn't like the exciting part, but the people that help us process our financial aid. We get to see, like, put faces to the names of, like you said, of who we work with and talk to all the time. So I think just that time of being together is always so positive. I want to talk about the trip a little bit also. As far as us getting to go. So you, me, and Tia got to go to the conference. And so the first day there, I got there really early. You all had met up with us because you were on a trip already in Florida. So you met us there. But that first day, I was on the beach, like reading before the conference started. I really got to have like some quiet.
Scoping out the competition,
Yes.
scoping out the people that are going to be at the conferences because a lot of them are familiar names. Like I mean, we see them at every
It
conference
is
and.
crazy how I feel like we just like know everybody there.
Mhm.
Like that is something that I really like because I think there was something like 140 attendees, but then you have all the vendors and stuff. So I would say over 300 people
Oh
maybe
yeah.
are there, and it's just like making those connections. We have like school friends that we are like they're the schools that we're like, okay, I want to ask them how they're handling whatever situation. They're like the people we go to. So just reuniting with them. But what I really liked is on that first day there was kind of like an understood agreement, or maybe it was just me dodging people, but this was the first time that I was not like I feel like I have this like requirement that if I see somebody and I know them, I have to go say hi. But that Thursday, I was like, the conference hasn't started yet. I was like dodging. I was like, I'm gonna wait until the conference to like talk to
Glasses
anybody.
on,
Yeah.
hat down.
I'm like literally like in disguise. But I feel like it was good to give ourselves that time to be like, this is when we're gonna do this work stuff.
I'm sure you weren't the only
And
one,
no,
honestly.
that's what I mean. I feel like it was like an understood agreement. There were a couple of people that I'm like, I really feel like they saw me,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna, we're not gonna acknowledge that we saw each other, which was actually kind of nice that first day. And then there was classes, and we got to go down and like go into the exhibit hall, and that was really like you said, that was kind of what we were there for. Is we had just partnered with Sugar Lash, we had just partnered with Babe Hair Extensions, Green Circle Salons. Stephen is working on partnering with, and so just getting to talk to them in person and really go through what it is we're doing at the school was just so awesome. And I think that time together, like you and I are big on being like intentional about the time. We got to do all of the Miami things that we love. So we got to go to Satai for dinner, and we got to go to, you guys went to,
Komodo.
yes, which was the place that everyone in the conference was like going to dinner. I skipped that night, but just got to be out, and it just like actually felt like, even though it was just a short trip, like a
Mhm.
mini
Yeah, we crammed a
vacation.
lot into it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think again, just the anticipation of teaching the class. I mean, we were there for a different reason, and there was just a lot of different energy, if you will, surrounding this trip. And
Yeah.
it was exciting and new for us. And I mean, let's just not forget the result of the class.
Yes.
Like,
Okay. So I want to talk about that. So we had planned this class. Brooklyn and I put together a presentation of like, what would we talk about? What is it that makes us different? Which is really hard because it's hard to just be like, oh yeah, we're just like super friendly and we're super nice and we whatever. It's hard to put into words why that makes such a difference. But when people come into the school, it's that feeling that you get when you walk in the door. And that was really what we like. The basis of our class was like the little things that we do that really make people feel like a family and a part of our school, because the legacy of you being fifth generation owner is so huge. It's not a light weight to carry. We just celebrated our 95th birthday. way. Like there's a lot of pressure there, but I think just like us being us is what we wanted to relay, right? And so we had put together a presentation the morning of the class. So one funny thing about the class is we were the very last class of the conference, which they had like, you know, 4 or 5 different classes happening at one time. Like the conference center was huge. And so we were like the very last class. So
And there were other ones, you know, at the same time as well.
right. And our friends that like we have there, we were like, oh my gosh, we saw you guys are teaching, like we'll be there, we'll be there. And so we had some people that were like, okay, you know, like you have friends in the class or whatever. But we had just gone over the presentation that morning, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what you're gonna do, here's what I'm gonna say, like, and kind of bounce back and forth. But it really was like, it was like the beauty professional awards. Like it really was like, I set the outline, I was like, this is what we're gonna do. And then we just go do it. And I just feel like that in so many different ways is what we do so well. We just pivot. We like wing it. We're just like, we know what we're doing and what we're gonna say. So before the class, I started getting nervous, which is not like normal.
I did too. I remember I was having breakfast or lunch or something, and I was like, oh man, it's coming up. Like
Yeah.
it's time.
One of like the best things is they had like a salon and an amazing spa in the hotel. And Tia found out that like they had like a dry bar there, and she was like go get a blowout. So Tia and you went down, like booked all of that like for me. And I loved that I had that time before that class started, because it just made me like calm down. And then we met up before we went to a Milady class, which Jessica George,
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that helped me.
I know, me too.
Like her being just her up there, like made me feel so much better about teaching.
But she had, I mean, they had handouts and exercises and activities and everything. We were like, oh snap, you know, we don't have any
And
of
I was
this.
like, is our presentation even gonna work? Like, so we go in like 15 minutes before the class starts, right?
Because we'd been at the exhibit hall before. I mean, we were in the class talking to the people, and then we were like, okay, it's time to go in there.
Yeah.
I guess get ready.
And so we go in, and there's like 2 people sitting in a room that like maybe holds like 50 people.
60,
maybe?
yeah, 50, 60,
Like,
something like that.
and we go in and there's 3 people in there. And so then we start being like, okay, if there's only, I started getting into my head of being like, okay, if there's only 5 people in this class, like it's the 5 people that were meant to be there, like it'll be fine. We can still do that, whatever. But then
I just fully expected it to be people in there the whole time. So when there was only 2 people, it's kind of like some of our orientation days. I'm like, oh, we start in 2 minutes, and then there's this like wave of people that comes in. So it's funny to hear. I mean, while you were nervous there was only gonna be 5, I was just waiting on them to come in, and
I
then as you were
didn't
saying,
know, just because like I said, it was the last class of the conference, and I'm like, I know everyone's ready to be done.
Yep.
Everyone's ready to get out of here. Everybody has dinner plans, like all of that. So it was really, I don't know. I guess I just got like nervous or second guessing, like,
yeah,
what are we doing? You know,
Yeah.
because again, we'd never done this before. But then, like you said, people just started filling in and filling in. And then all of a sudden, we're maybe like just getting through our introductions of who we are. And I like looked and I'm like, okay, the room's full. I didn't even know I don't think there was like 1 chair left. Like I think if anybody else would have come in.
I mean,
like,
people were standing up on the walls.
Really?
I think
I
so.
blacked out.
That's what I remember.
A little
I've
bit.
really been working on the no blackouts
Yeah.
during these times. And so I didn't. I mean, I was fully present the whole time. And I mean, there were people in the back, people coming in and sitting down. And like I said, I loved that. Because again, most of these classes at the convention are financial aid management and lead generation and stuff with students. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's not to say boring, but kind of boring, honestly. And we really didn't wanted to have a fun class. So I just loved that the entire time everyone was looking at us. People were taking notes. I mean, they were
was
fully
literally someone in the
engaged.
front that I like was watching like turn pages of a notebook and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
taking notes, and that just like gets you more energized. So the class was an hour, so it's 45 minutes and then 15 minutes at the end. So didn't you say you looked and we had like 38 minutes left at one time? And I feel like I didn't look maybe until we had like, I don't know, we were 20 minutes out, and I was like, I have to remember to leave time for questions and make sure that we do what we're supposed to do, so they like maybe let us do this again. So I wasn't counting down, I feel like maybe as
I
much
just had a
as you
timer.
were.
I just had a timer to see, and at one point I checked just to make sure we had time, and I was like, okay, we're making good progress. And then the next time I looked, it was 15 minutes left of the class, and
Yeah.
we were wrapping up and on questions. And It just happened naturally.
I think one of the things that we did that was good was that we like, and we said that we wanted to do this. We were like, we want to engage them. So
Mhm.
when we're talking about what we're doing, we were like, what are you guys doing for graduations, or what are you doing? So we got like that
Mhm.
involvement, which I feel like made them
Mhm.
connect a little bit more. Like it made them be like, oh yeah, we do stuff too. Because one of the things that I was super nervous about is I was like, I didn't want it to come off of like, we are the best and this is, you know, bragging or something. Like, is that the right word?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I didn't want to be just so like we know it all and we're doing everything perfect, because we're absolutely not. We have so much room to grow, but here is what we're doing
Yeah.
really well. And so I feel like that was relayed, like the feedback. So okay, so we get through it. And we were just us, like up there, like bounced back and forth. Like he talked about things he was going to talk about, and then we just kind of like played off each other. And then the class is over and everyone clapped,
Oh,
which
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't realize till later, like acknowledge or whatever, but everyone like clapped, and um some people
Which
stayed
is not
after.
normal. I mean, even the class before, everyone just kinda, "Okay, it's done," you get up and you leave, but
Yeah.
everyone clapped and
Yeah.
smiles, like, it was really cool.
Smiles like the whole time, like smiles and nodding, like you said. That was like, I mean, if everyone would have just been staring at us, which does
Yeah,
happen sometimes when we go
yeah.
like speak at the high schools or whatever, or we have them in, like sometimes the students, which are who we're used to talking to, like we're used to talking to parents or students, and like this was like our colleagues, which makes it harder. I think it made it a little bit more scary, but afterwards a couple of people had stayed, so we were probably in the classroom for like another hour
Yeah.
by time, or like walking and talking kind of
Oh, yeah.
situation after, of people like coming up and asking us questions or introducing themselves. And I just got
We
such awesome
yeah,
sweet feedback.
we had, there was a gentleman that came up at the end and, they had just won
Yeah.
the Golden School Award and they were in the class and he was asking questions, and it's really cool to think that, I mean, to think that
Yeah.
the Golden School is in our class getting tips on what they can do,
Hmm.
and
I think the
that's
way that
awesome.
we like were able to talk about what is different about our beauty school, right? And like again, we do have this like lineage of this is just TSB. I think that's one thing that both of us have kind of not like struggled with, but just being like, okay, well, there is this institution here already, right? That like we didn't start or whatever, we changed it a lot. But there's already this like institution there. So it does carry weight. And I think we were good about like while we were talking, being like, okay, now obviously, most of the time it's not the owners that are doing admissions, or it's not the owners that are meeting with you, but who we were talking to in the class is the owner. So I was hoping that a lot of the people would be like, okay, this is what I want to take back to my admissions team or to whoever is working with the students. Cause it really was just like a message of, treating things differently. But then also, like, on the same side of it, I think what's really cool about what we're doing is that it's super professional. It's backed up by the education, it's backed up by our numbers, but it's also like just us. And I think we played that walked that line really well in the class,
I
because
mean, yeah,
so many
telling them
people were.
education's first. I mean, if you do
Mhm,
all these things and you have a fun dress down day or spirit day, well, if they're not getting the right education, then that all doesn't really matter. You have
mhm.
to, again, assuming you have the education in place and they're passing tests and all that, here's ways to
Make it fun
elevate
or
it.
like
Yeah.
connect. And I think that also, a lot of the things that we hear from other schools are not issues that we deal with. So sometimes it is kind of hard to relate when we're sitting in the classes and somebody's either like complaining about their students or saying that they, have such high turnover or they whatever. And I'm
Or no
like,
clients on the floor.
yeah, I
That's a
mean,
common one.
yeah, stuff that we're like, oh man, like this is not an issue that we deal with. And it's weird because you're like, you want to help and just be like, well, just do this. But it isn't always that easy. But I think the way that we are able to like again just share some of the good things like really, really helps. And we were at dinner, and we have friends from Taylor Andrews Academy, which is in Utah, and they're one of the schools that like operate pretty similar to us. And I think they have the same values, maybe, or the same ideas as us. But we were sat next to them at dinner, and they, complimented us, and they were like, "We loved your class; it was so good," which means the world to us because those are our colleagues; those are the people that we, go to and look up to. Also. And so for them to say that, there was definitely like a thing where certain people complimented us. I was like, okay, that one like
Mhm.
really matters because I know them. But they said they were like, you guys were just yourselves. And that was like, I think my favorite compliment that we got was, it was just you guys up there. You were so authentic. And I'm like, that is
I
what we're
would
trying to do.
I would really love to know, like, what they got back. I don't think we've gotten the feedback from it yet, have
No,
we? No, so we're
no.
waiting on that. Did get a little Amazon gift card, so that was nice. But, I would love to know what the feedback is, or I'm excited to know just because, like you said, I mean, there were school owners in there, but there were, you know, vendors, there
Mhm.
was like networks, there were school directors and financial aid officers, and, all across the board. And we heard from all of them.
Mhm.
I mean, people with multiple campuses and people with, nationwide programs and education platforms and things like that. And they all got something from it.
Mhm.
And I don't know what they got from it
Yeah.
other than,
I
yeah, I
think
don't
it
know,
was
have a
just
good
like
time.
our positive energy also that maybe excited them again about what they're doing.
Hmm.
Don't you think that like sometimes, I mean, I just think in the world, like just in life, and you and I both are people that like just try to be positive all the time and try to be like make the best out of whatever situation. And we have our own like background conversations of mental health and what we're doing and keep each other motivated, keep each other like just getting better and better. I just kind of feel like that's what rubs off on people. It's like maybe they're excited to go back to their school and they haven't been excited to go back to their school in a while,
Hmm.
because they're dealing with things that are just like bringing them down, or maybe they don't have the right people that are supporting them the way that we are always like
And maybe
doing that.
that's what, I mean, maybe that's what they got from it. Like you said, and if there was an educator in there, get excited. Remember why
Mhm.
you got into this. There are rules and regulations involved, but there's also the fun side of it.
Mhm.
And we play on that fun side. We just kind
Mhm.
of we've been in this long enough to where, again, the rules and stuff is just background at this point. Again, something I said in the class was, okay, you should already know how long school is, how much it costs, what's the schedule, things like that. So that stuff should be easy to answer, but it's the other stuff that isn't as tangible, so to speak, that
Mhm.
I like to play on. I mean, again, calling the students by name,
Mhm.
and just because that shows that we know them. I mean,
Yeah.
again, we know everyone in the school. I had
Mhm.
students over from our aesthetics program the other day, and they said something. They quizzed me. They said, "Do you know my name?" And I said, "Yes." And I said first name, last name, and what about her? First name, last name. And then they started showing me pictures of people in their class. Like, who's this? Who's this? And I knew them all
That's
first name,
so
last name
crazy.
because I mean, we do this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just a front to get them in admissions. Like, I mean, we are
Mhm.
there for you and we care, and they come to us with questions and problems, and we help them, and we're there the whole time. I mean, again, we're a staple throughout all of school. I mean, again, our cosmetology teachers, no one in aesthetics is going to them, or
Right.
aesthetics directors, no one in cosmo. I mean, it just, there's not that overlap, but we're dealing with cosmo, aesthetics, makeup, advanced education, the parents, potential students, transfers, other schools. The list goes on,
Mhm.
and it's great being so involved. I mean, it
Yeah.
feels like we're like the epicenter of everything, and so I mean, maybe that is what helps our understanding. I mean, someone in financial aid strictly isn't going to be able to, know all the things about the classroom, but we're involved in all the decisions at the school, keeping the student in mind, education in mind, and
I think from a business perspective, whatever business we were in, right? Like, I think that we care so much about the experience that,
Mhm.
like, it keeps us accountable. Also, if I was like, when you were saying that, I was like, yeah, if I only met with them about financial aid, would I be as concerned about how their classes are going or how, where they're going to go work after or whatever? Like, it really puts a different level on care that, like, we're the ones meeting them in high school or being the ones on the tour, like, or being the one, like, it really makes us more accountable to the business that we're operating. And I think no matter what business, if it's a restaurant or if it's whatever, I think just being in it and being a face of it is so important. Like, I couldn't, like if you and I were doing this virtually, which a lot of schools are like doing
or
virtual tour.
AI admissions, like
Yeah.
I saw something about that.
like I just couldn't do that. And I think that it would change everything about the product. I think it would change everything about the business that we're operating. And I think even if we were to go out tomorrow and open up another business, we actually, when we did that, we were still wanted to be the face of it. We still wanted to be present in it. And we still want to be a part of it. And I think that that's the secret more than anything. I think it's just that we're there. We're there every day. And this isn't just like, especially for you being fifth generation, like this isn't just a, oh, cool, we have a successful business and that's it. It's like, no, this is deeper and this is more. How has that like responsibility felt for you? I know lately you're in year 7,
6.
6. I always go up a year. I don't know why I do that, but you're like year 6 now in it. How has that pressure like changed, or does it feel the same as when you came in? Like, what's it like
I
right now?
mean, no, honestly, my whole awareness of my job has drastically changed over the years, um and I feel like again, I just came into this completely different. I mean, because my whole life I've been prepping for this. Like, again, I think back. I remember when I first started working at the school. I'm talking to my dad about these things. I'm like, so what? All these career placement tests that I took in middle school and high school and all this and went to college, like all that just doesn't matter because and he's like, yeah, I mean, you're just in this position. And I struggled with that for a while because I mean, I did 3 months of the school as my training, and I was in freshman class to get an understanding of what they went. I took clients on the floor, and so I did it all. And then jumping from 3 months of school to being, one of the top positions at the school, that was hard. Going from student to staff. I mean, then I'm having to enforce rules to my classmates. Like it was just tricky. And but then the more that started happening, and then there was, those wave of students that were there when I was a student. Well, they graduate and I'm still there, so people only know me in this position. And then I'm, director of student development, so I'm involved in some things. But then I'm the vice president, and I'm handling more things, and I'm the go-to for other things. And uh, I mean, there has been a pressure to it, but there's kind of just been an ease to it, and maybe I've been what's the word? Maybe I've been what's the word when groomed into it just
Hmm.
because, again, I've been told I'm good with people, and I do, it's not just believing what people say. I enjoy striking up random conversations with
Hmm.
people and doing this. And I remember when I was a kid, I would do it. So again, it kind of comes naturally, and I'm glad that I'm just made to be in this job. But it has changed. And I
Hmm.
mean, again, I'm thankful that I've got you there with me, and we're just going off of each other. I think, again, that's something that we do real well. I can back off and you can be the voice when
Hmm.
necessary, and then you can back off and I can be the voice when necessary. And I mean,
Hmm.
we pick up a lot of each other's weaknesses,
Yeah.
like my strengths are your weaknesses and
Hmm.
vice versa.
Yeah.
And we play on that. Again, something we think about with the staff. Give people what they're good at. I don't need to be doing the things that Bobby's good at that I'm not good at.
Yeah,
Let you do
same.
it.
Yeah, and it
And
works both ways. Like it really does that. You've like challenged the staff in different ways. You've challenged the school in different ways. And it was like exactly what we needed. We both have like the same idea of where we want to go and what we want the school to look like. And we want to have fun and we want happy staff and we want happy students. And so we're like, we just have to set that tone. And so it really is like a yin and yang of like being able to be like, I don't want to handle that. That's not my thing, but you handle that and I'll handle this. And that I think has been like so good, especially over the last few years of being like really finding our groove and finding like what we're good at and being able to make changes and make positive changes there again, still with education being number one and then the students and staff, being number two. And like,
I do think though that is something that makes our school special, and the fact that we are so involved. We do care that the staff are happy and that the
mhm,
students are happy because, maybe a school owner that's got several campuses and they're running it from somewhere else. They're not in it with them, so they don't have to deal with the upset teachers or deal with the closed door meetings or parents or any of that stuff. They just hear about it and okay, I hope you deal with it. But we're dealing
and they're
with it.
like training other people how to do that. And you and I both know that like no one's going to do it as good as you as us. No one's going to handle the situations because it's our thing. Like we know where we're going. And that's one thing that we're going to be working on, I think, through the next year. What's really going to change is getting everyone on the same page about where our vision is and getting like so clear about that so that it's not just us carrying that, but it's like the staff understands that on top of their jobs of being excellent and great in the classroom, because we're so lucky that our staff stays so long, like now it's time to level them up. Now it's time to get them ready.
I was just talking with a teacher, Elise, on Saturday about some things in her classroom, and she was asking me some questions, and I was just like, you're the one. You make the decision. I said, I will have your back. Again, at this point, you're beyond me teaching you these things.
Yeah.
Like now you make the decision. Again, do it scared. Sometimes you just have to make the decision, and whether it's right or wrong, you figure it out. And again, something we do is even if we make the wrong decision, we'll do it in a way that leaves the student comfortable and satisfied, or let them have their part of it. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just that
I think acknowledging what we're doing, like we might implement something and then be like, oh, wait, that was not the right thing to implement. And I think that sometimes there's ego involved where people don't want to be like, oh no, I made the wrong choice, and it becomes about something else. And we're really good about being like, okay, let's switch it, or let's do this instead, or let's try this thing. And I think that's what's also so great about us is we're both super open to trying different ways and trying different things. We're not so set in our ways, and I hope that's not ever a place that we get to, but we're never like, well, this is just how it's always been done and this is just the way we have to do it. We're like, wait, is that the best way to do this, or is there a better way? And I think that is something that I really think is helpful. We were talking to a school owner that we've met a couple times at the conferences, and we were talking to him about how he has multiple locations. And this is something, I mean, TSB used to have 3 locations. I think, and we've talked about it, do we expand?
TSB Miami?
Do we go? That was something that was settled on this trip, is TSB Miami, and that's Stephen's location. But one of the things that we were, I've always felt, or I've always said, is the special thing about us is that we're in the school. And luckily we've been able to grow through the shopping center and all of that stuff. But we were talking to one of the guys there, and he was explaining the way he's jumping from school to school. And I'm just like, that, I would hate that. Like, I would hate being like, I'm only at, TSB Western Avenue on Wednesdays, or I'm only here this day, and then we're never together. Like, I just feel like it really solidified that I'm never going to say never, but that I think the way that we've set it up of all being in one building together makes such a difference. And
it's hard enough having aesthetics in a separate part of the school. I mean, again, Cosmo,
see them as much.
They're right in front of my line of vision. I mean, every day they're clocking in right in front of my office, and you can see them come in and out of the classrooms and do all of the things. And
it's funny because I think that when we tell people that like this is what we do, which again is not easy. I don't think that this is the easier way. I think for my personality it is, but I do think that like everything that we carry and all the different hats that we wear is hard. It's draining. We have to really keep each other motivated and all of that. Like, it's not an easier way by any means, but I do think that it is the better way. And like having that confirmation, I think again is like, even if it's not something that we're taking away as like, oh, we want to do this, I think it's also on the other side of the confirmation of like, we're doing it, we're doing it right. I just think that we would miss the magic of our fun and like all the positives if, we weren't under the same roof every day.
I mean, kind of going back to what you said a little bit ago, if you only did...
Back to what you said 3 days ago.
Going back to 30 seconds ago, when you were talking about if you were only doing financial aid.
Yeah.
Again, I think, there would be... I mean, that's not an open-ended job. If you're there for financial aid and they come in and meet and you go over financial aid, your job's done. Then what are you to do? We have that responsibility of making sure they have a good time in class and graduate, and then are successful after graduation, and then salon owners, and then when they have, a staff underneath them, they're coming to us. And I mean, it's just like an ongoing responsibility or job. And so we're never satisfied. I mean, we're never done. I don't think we're like, oh, I'm ready to be done. I mean, sometimes we'll be done with some students.
Yeah, it is like super power level though. Like, I really think like the way that we're able to have 50 people, DMing us or having, all the emails or all the different ways that they can connect and communicate, like we're available for that. And it's literally coming in directly to us. I just think that that's something that's rare, but I honestly think that as like hard as it is to manage sometimes, like it would be harder the other way. And that's one thing that I think that maybe beauty schools haven't grasped yet, is that it's,
Mhm.
to me, it feels like what we're doing is the easier way, of being the owners that are doing, doing everything, right? Like it's not easy, but it doesn't, it kind of feel like the other way would be so much harder.
It
I'm like, I
does.
can't even
If you want it done
imagine.
right, do it yourself
Yeah.
type of deal.
And like the people that have come to TSB, like it was, for 25 years, it was your dad and George that were meeting with them. And now it's like, it's me for 13 years, you for 6. Like it's that we are carrying the same people. If we had people that were just doing admissions, like what,
Mhm.
that turns over and they get new jobs or they do whatever, that inconsistency, like I just couldn't even imagine how stressful that would be to
I
constantly be
mean,
hiring or always be looking for teachers and retraining. And
something too that I see at the school that is a different thing is, again, these students, these high school students will come in with their grandma and they'll be like, "Are you Adam's son?" And I'm like, what gave it away? That they see familiarity in my
Mhm.
face, and that's just interesting. And
Yeah.
I don't know, that's special
The
to
amount
me.
of times at ACS this year specifically, not before, but that we got asked if we were siblings. Like Steven got asked all the time, "Is this your sister? Oh, is this your sister?" Like the whole time. And I finally just stopped correcting people. I was like,
Like,
okay.
kinda.
Like we kind of are. But that's the thing too, is like, again, just like us being us and people being like, what's different about them? I think that's something I want to keep literally forever. If there's one thing that's, that people say about the school or what the students say, is like, what's different about that? Like, what are they doing that is again, complaints being different or struggles being different? Like what you and I struggle with is like really like how do we get better, and how do we like make sure that it's, I mean, for me, I think my biggest struggle is like, how do we have a perfect day every day, and how is everyone's student experience perfect? And what you've been so good at making me realize, or like changing with the school, is kind of this mentality of like, do we want to let this person say that they're a TSB graduate? That has been like a thing that I think over the last year or 2 years, like you've really changed the idea around that. It might be something that like your dad and grandfather and all of them carried, but I do think that like it means something for us to be able to be like, no, we want to claim you. We want to blow you up after you graduate. We want to like brag about you and share your story and be a part of your journey. Like, is this somebody that we want to call, a
I
TSB
mean,
graduate?
there's a lot of prestige that comes with it. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a national name, and people all over the world are moving to the school and have heard of us. I mean, again, salon owners or stylists in Chicago recommending the school, and students moving from. It's I don't know. It's very important, and I don't want to water that down with just letting anyone come in. And I mean, again, something that I've been saying is it's hard in that 30-minute admissions meeting
Hmm.
to judge whether or not someone's going to make it as a successful stylist. We try to give everyone the chance. Anyone
Hmm.
who jumps through the hoops that we have, who will schedule a second appointment or will do the things that they need to do on the front end, like if you make it through, we'll give you a chance. And you have to constantly prove yourself at the school. I mean, not constantly prove yourself. You have to not
You just have to meet the
not
expectations. Like you
yeah.
have to like be a part of the
We don't
team.
ask a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like we do a lot. I mean, I guess compared to some schools, or if you don't have a dress code, like, yeah, we have a dress code and you have to do it, but probably going to have one at your salon. And I mean, again, it all is intentional and there's reason behind the things, what we do.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly reevaluating. I think the word, like, for me is always like the standard, right? Like, what standard do we want to say? Like, this is just like what you have to be here. And we know, like, it's not just like made up arbitrary things. It's like we're constantly talking to salon owners, we're constantly talking to people or that have been successful. And we're like, you know what? This works. We're going to keep doing this,
And we do get rid of some rules as they are unnecessary. Like, I mean, again, that was one of the things when I first came in. I was, having been in class and
Hmm.
seeing the rules that were enforcing this and that. I got out of it and I was like, some of those probably don't need to even be there anymore. Like, and
Hmm.
again, and then we looked and the school rules said no boom boxes. And it's just kind of like times have changed. And again, being over 95 years old, there's a lot of stuff. Again, we came into it, both of us, when we came into it, it was already going. I mean, Bobbi, when
Mhm.
you came in, the school was what, 80 years old. And so
Yeah.
the way the path was already paved, we just had to, as my dad likes to say, keep steering the ship. And but along the way, we've made some changes. I think I don't even like saying change. I'd say adapted
Right.
to students' need nowadays. And it just times are changing
Yeah.
drastically. I mean, God, I could, when I was in school, however, I mean, 10 years ago, we didn't have any AI or any of that stuff. And I mean, you could just do a ton of stuff nowadays. And so it's just changed. Clearly, it's changed. And how are we going to change with it? What things need to stay in place? I remember one of the exercises at one of the classes was, let's say nationwide there's a 30% reduction on hours. How do you maintain what do you do in that case? And everyone was saying, cut out the fluff, do, only teach this. And I was like, how much fluff is there? Like what, someone was like, oh, roller sets. We see a ton of roller sets. I'm sure. I mean, those are your
Mhm.
loyal clients that come every Friday or every 2 weeks to get it done. I want to find a way to teach everything that I can in that reduced requirement.
Yeah.
Again, maybe that's
But I feel like we're doing that in 1,500 hours. Like there might be some downtime in between like a client, but like even our students getting 2 to 3 clients a day is not, again,
Mhm.
not normal. So it's
True.
like, it's hard to find people that can relate to us because I'm like, it's just different. I don't know what it is. Like it just is different. But like just knowing that like when we adapt, like it's not, I think what's awesome about us too is because we're like creative or we've seen that this is how your dad has kind of done things and it's worked is like, we had a conversation recently about like here's what a plan we want to put in place, but there's no like knee jerk reaction to be like, oh, this is what we have to do. And I feel like a lot of beauty schools operate that way, or businesses just like in general. It's like, well, one person's
Okay.
doing it and now everyone has to do it. This is what the students want. And we're like, well, we're talking to our students and we're talking to the next generation of students, like in the high schools, and that's not what they want. So like, let's not just switch because that's what everybody's doing, or
Mhm.
it's just a quick cash grab. And I think that that's like the biggest thing.
Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's the right thing. I mean, that's, something that I take with my life. I
Mhm.
want to be the one going the other way against a crowd. I
Mhm.
don't like to float the mainstream. And
Mhm.
again, I think it's cool. I feel like I've tended to be on the front end of trends and things like that. So,
But just like
you know,
walking and slowly making changes is okay with us. Like it's not like we need to change everything tomorrow. There's so many things that like Steve and I will talk about, and we're like, okay, but that's for next year. That's for in
someday
6 years.
list. Yeah, the someday list.